Imagine a tiny silver box on your desk that's quieter than your fridge, smaller than a shoebox, and powerful enough to replace a big, noisy Windows tower, a console, and even that aging laptop you keep babying. That's the promise of the M-series Mac Mini. And the M5 Mac Mini could be the moment where this little box finally becomes the obvious choice for almost everyone. If you're curious about whether the M5 Mac Mini is worth waiting for, whether it can actually handle your real work, your side hustle, and your downtime, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly who this machine is for, what it could do better than any other Mac, and whether it deserves a spot on your desk. Depending on when you're watching this, Apple may have already shown off the M5 Mac Mini, or we might still be working off leaks, rumors, and Apple's predictable patterns. Either way, we already know enough about Apple Silicon and the Mac Mini's role in the lineup to understand what this thing is really going to be. So why should you even care about a Mac Mini when laptops and all-in-one desktops exist? Think about what most people actually need from a computer: power, reliability, quiet operation, and flexibility. The Mac Mini's secret weapon is that it gives you all the brains of a Mac without forcing you into a specific screen, keyboard, or setup. You bring your own monitor. You bring your own keyboard and mouse. You set it up exactly the way you work best. If you already have a great monitor, or you like dual displays, or you want a big 4K TV as your main screen, the Mini makes way more sense than paying a premium for a built-in display you may not even love. Now layer the M-series story on top of that. Every generation of Apple Silicon has followed the same pattern: more performance, less power, cooler, and quieter machines, and features that used to belong only to big, bulky workstations. From Intel to M1, we saw shocking jumps in speed and battery life. From M1 to M2, we saw smoother multitasking and better media engines for creators. From M2 to M3, we saw big improvements in graphics and efficiency, plus hardware features like ray tracing that gamers and 3D artists actually care about. So when we talk about an M5 Mac Mini, we're really talking about the 5th generation of that same idea: a tiny box that punches way above its weight. Here's what that actually means for you in real life, not just in benchmarks. If you're a video creator in the US, shooting 4K or even 8K, the M5 Mini is likely to lean even harder into dedicated hardware for video, more advanced media engines, smoother playback, and faster exports. The kind of stuff that lets you scrub a heavy timeline without your fans screaming or your system choking. If you're a programmer, especially in web app or AI development, you're looking at faster compiles, more responsive simulators, and a machine that can run multiple containers, IDEs, browsers, and local services without constantly swapping. To slow storage. If you're working remotely, Zoom calls, spreadsheets, browser tabs, Slack, maybe a CRM in the background, the M5 Mini is pretty much the ideal brain of your setup. Silent, cool, and powerful enough to stay snappy even when you have way too many tabs open. And then there's AI. Apple has been quietly pushing their neural engine with every M-series chip. It's not just a buzzword. A dedicated AI hardware handles things like background removal, smarter upscaling, real-time audio cleanup. And whatever new on-device AI features Apple builds into macOS, by the time we're at M5, you should expect an even bigger focus on that. Faster, more capable AI processing on your machine, without always sending everything to the cloud. Imagine editing a podcast, and your Mac Mini automatically cleans up background noise, levels, voices, and even suggests highlight clips in seconds. Imagine you're a photographer, and your computer can recognize objects, faces, and scenes almost instantly across tens of thousands of images, without being connected to any server. That kind of stuff depends heavily on the neural engine and GPU improvements. The M5 is where that starts to feel less like a party trick, and more like this is just how computers work now. But performance is only half the story. The other half is the experience Apple needs to nail this time. Past Mac Minis have had some frustrating limitations. Base storage that fills up way too fast, not enough RAM for serious multitasking, limited ports, especially if you're using a lot of external drives, audio gear, or cameras, and of course, non-upgradable internals once you buy it, you're stuck with that configuration. If Apple wants the M5 Mac Mini to be a no-brainer for more people, a few things have to change. First, the base configuration needs to be usable for real work. If you're editing video, making music, working with large codebases, or handling big photo libraries, you know that tiny base storage isn't going to cut it. The M5 Mini needs a base SSD that you don't outgrow in the first 6 months. Same for memory. Every modern workflow is RAM hungry. Browser plus Slack plus email. Plus, creative tools already eats a big chunk. With more AI-powered features running locally, having a reasonable starting RAM option isn't nice to have anymore. It's essential. Second, ports. The Mac Mini lives at the center of your desk. That means it often connects to everything. Your monitor, external drives, card readers, audio interfaces, cameras, MIDI controllers, maybe even a printer. An M5 Mac Mini that really understands its job should lean into that. Plenty of high-speed USB-C and Thunderbolt ports, at least a couple of USB-A for older gear, HDMI for easy TV or monitor hookups, and ideally a headphone jack and maybe even an SD card slot for creators. Third, displays. More people are running multi-monitor setups at home than ever before. Dual 4K, ultra-wide plus secondary, or a TV plus a desk monitor. The M5 Mini needs to support multiple high-resolution displays without weird workarounds or compromises. Now picture your everyday routine. You wake up, grab coffee, sit down at your desk, and power on this silent little box. You're on back-to-back Zoom calls until noon. Your camera feed is clean, background blur looks natural, your mic sounds crisp, because the system is quietly cleaning up your audio in real time. In between calls, you're editing a quick social video for your brand or your side hustle. You drop 4K footage into your editor, add some effects, adjust color, and your timeline stays responsive. No spinning beach balls, no fans going crazy. After work, you fire up a game or stream a show in 4K on the same machine. The Mini barely gets warm. You're not staring at a screaming jet engine or a bulky tower with RGB fans. It's just a clean, quiet desk. That's the lifestyle pitch of the M5 Mac Mini. Take the power you actually need, strip away everything you don't, and give you a flexible brain you can build your perfect setup around. But does that mean you should wait for it? Or should you just buy whatever Mac Mini is available right now? If your current computer is barely hanging on, constant crashes, painfully slow, making you money but costing you time waiting, a long time might actually be more expensive than upgrading now. In that case, grab the best current Mac Mini you can reasonably afford, with enough RAM and storage for your next 3 to 5 years. On the other hand, if your current machine is fine, but you know you're going to need more power for your next project, your next semester, or your next job, the M5 could be worth waiting for, especially if you work with video, 3D or AI workflows. You want a machine you won't have to replace for a long time. And you like the idea of using new on-device AI features without relying on cloud services. The other factor is value. Historically, the Mac Mini